What is going on, everybody? How's everybody doing on this Thursday night, 6:30 p.m.? I know that the fans in the city of Detroit are happy as can be as they advance on to the next round after a 6-3 victory over the Cleveland Guardians. I almost said the Cleveland Indians. Can we please change that name back? No one who matters has a problem with calling them Indians, much like the Redskins in Washington. I'd like to get both of those back. Congratulations to AJ Hinch and the Detroit Tigers. You know, I put a post up the other day and I said, sometimes expectation brings the worst out of you, and then sometimes the non-expectation can bring the best out of you. And the Tigers backed in, beep 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 beep, they backed into the playoffs, and sometimes that works out to your benefit, which is crazy, right? So the team that, and I said this the other day, Jennifer Hammond, shout out to Jen in Detroit. She's probably in the locker room right now doing interviews. She liked that right away, and I think she agreed with that because that's so true. When a team goes on this massive, massive run to catch up, right, to make the playoffs, sometimes it works, right? The momentum, and if the other team's got a bye or they've been on easy street the rest of the way or down the stretch, which neither team, Cleveland or Detroit, obviously weren't on easy street. They were fighting to get in. Tigers, both of them were fighting to not miss it altogether, but the Tigers played a lot worse. Obviously, blew 26 games over 500 they were, and shrunk down to 11, 12, huge lead, 15 game lead, came down to tied. Actually, they gave it up, down one game. So they got in, and credit to them, went up 1-0. Then tied 1-1 as far as the series, and then pulled it out today and 2-1 winners and go on to play Seattle. Seattle's a very, very good team, well-balanced. They're not like that flashy team, right, that's got all these kinds of big-name players like the Yankees and some of the other teams that made and didn't make the playoffs. The big name, it's the Mariners, right? But they're solid. They're very, very solid. They're very deep. They're balanced. They're balanced in the starting rotation. They're balanced in the bullpen. They're balanced at the plate. They know how to get, runners over. They can play some of the small ball. They can play, some of the, the big ball and get some of the big dingers. So that's going to be a whole different series. I can't stand the 2 out of 3 series. That bothers me. I understand why they do it. It's so long, extra wild card. You start getting into cold weather now. We're obviously October 2nd here. Where the Tigers play, the Indians play, the Yankees, Red Sox, all those games are cold. Obviously out in LA, the Dodgers don't have that. Some of the other teams are in a little bit better warm spot, but nevertheless, Seattle and Detroit, that should be interesting. I believe it starts in 2 days. Yeah, today's the 2nd. It starts first game 1 on the 4th. We'll see what happens. It was nice to see them bang out 6 runs today after having 3 over the first 2 games. They doubled their run output here in game 3 over what game 1 and 2 was. So that's 6 and 8, 9 total runs in 3 games for an average of 3. They'll get Skubal set back up, I bet. Maybe they won't. That's 3? That'd be 5. That should be 5 days rest. We'll see what happens. So congratulations to the Tigers. See if they can make some hay. They'll definitely be the underdog, and we'll see what happens. So for those of you who didn't see earlier, today's a big day in my lifetime, and certainly in the PB Sports Talk history. We had let me take a quick drink of water here. I'm still dealing with this being under the weather, guys. Sorry about this. And it's like, cotton balls in my throat, and then all of a sudden you feel like I got a cough. So sorry about that. But I was live on the Fearless podcast with Jason Whitlock today. For those of you who may not know, and many of you do, Jason was with Kansas City Star. He spent time with ESPN, Fox Sports, well-known guy. He's been on so many different shows over the years. I've been following him better part of, sorry, Jason, I don't want to date you here, 2.5 decades, I would say. Always interesting take. It's evolved over the years on a lot of things. I don't agree with him on everything, but I certainly agree with him on a lot. And today, the entire conversation was about Shedeur Sanders, which we're in lockstep about. And it's really, really a cool show. It's, it just gave me the chills. It's like you work so hard to get an opportunity like that. And somebody as big as Jason, and when I say as big as Jason, I'm talking about stature in the media and in the podcast space, like 860,000 followers on X, and another 500,000 or so on Facebook. I don't even know what YouTube is, and some of the others. I think it's Facebook. Facebook or YouTube's 500,000, probably 2 million across all the platforms. Like he said in the open, which was really cool. He's like, I got this guy, Paul Burkhart, coming on the show, and he called me Nostradamus, and we got to find out who this guy is and how he predicted this from the beginning. Most of you probably never heard of him. You're right, Jason. I have a very small audience building. Been at this for a year. For those of you who don't know, we just had our 52nd week episode last Saturday. My co-host Luke and I been at it. Luke joined me about 10 weeks ago. He missed last week. Luke, never going to forgive you. No, just kidding. Luke will return this Saturday. We got a great thing going. But hey, this is a crowded space. This is very, very saturated. Everybody has one of these. We all know everybody's got an opinion. Whether it's any good or not is up for debate. I hope that mine is. And Jason obviously thought enough to give me a chance. We connected on X several months ago. And this is a really interesting story. And I'll never forget this for the rest of my life. I mean, it'll be stamped in my brain forever. And you can watch on X. Remember our X handle at PB Sports Talks with an S on the end. Everything's scrolling across the screen, but just in case you miss it, at PB Sports Talks with an S on the end. We have YouTube, we have Facebook, we have Patreon. It's a lot to manage right now. Small skeletal crew. I'm doing most of the work myself. Can't keep up. So X is the main platform where everything that we have goes to, and certainly everything that we have goes to first before YouTube. And I'll get to YouTube in a moment. But Jason connected with me a few months ago. He noticed the Shedeur Sanders conversations, and I was tagging him on things. And then on September 10th, I believe it was either 9:24 a.m. or 9:42 a.m. He reached out. It was him, Messenger on X, and he said, "I'd like to have you on one of my next few shows. I'm going to have a producer reach out to you." And literally at 1:30 that afternoon, I think we all remember what happened. Maybe you are or not a Charlie Kirk fan. I was a huge Charlie Kirk fan. Felt like I knew the guy, but I never actually met the guy. Followed him for years. He was assassinated, and that pushed everything back. That was basically 3 weeks ago. That happened on the 10th, and today is what, the 2nd? So essentially 3 weeks. And then, obviously Jason, he talks sports and pop culture and politics and such, but kind of a wide gamut. Started out as a sports guy mostly, and then, delved into other things. So that obviously went to the front topic, and I kind of fell off, but I stayed visible. And then yesterday, that whole thing with Shedeur Sanders, with mouthing the words and just making a complete, oh my gosh. And then today you see certain people trying to defend it. Like, what was he supposed to do? Rex Ryan said it. What was he supposed to do? You don't do that. You're trying to be a starter. He's trying to be a starter. And I don't want to give it all away. Watch the episode. He did a 2-minute lead in, which was really cool at the beginning of the show, that took everybody to a video from January 19th when I said Shedeur Sanders would be a 5th-round draft pick. People thought I was crazy. I got called every name in the book from there on, even to this day. You didn't say it. You didn't say it. The receipts are right there. I'm not good at AI, a little bit. And I'm not good at AI to put like fake words in my mouth and change my lips and make it say other stuff. That's legit. That's the actual legit receipt, January 19th. He didn't play it today, but then the day after the draft, which was essentially April 28th, I was like pinching myself because I said, don't draft Shedeur Sanders. He's a 5th-round pick. And I said, if you're Cleveland, don't draft him. No matter what, don't draft him. It will be an apocalyptic, I think I said, failure. It will basically explode in your face. Last thing Cleveland needs at this point in time, right? And then I went a step further and I said, we didn't talk about this today. I think I might have mentioned it real in passing. Then I had said on that day that within 3 years, Shedeur Sanders would be gone from the NFL, literally gone. And I think that timeline is actually accelerated quite a bit. He might be one and done, like 1 year and done. I actually don't even think he'll finish And I'm not actually officially making this predictions because I take my predictions really seriously. It's kind of putting us on the map. I don't know if I feel 100% about this, but I think that there's a very solid chance he does not finish the season in Cleveland. I think you will see a sabotage effort go on now that he not only didn't get that number 1 spot and Gabriel got it, they put Flacco at 2 and put Sanders at 3, which is the biggest indictment on not him as a person, because everybody thinks that this is a personal attack. It's not a personal attack. It's you're not that good. You're definitely not that good. And you've got an attitude and this selfish behavior to where you've become a distraction. You can't have it. You just can't have it in the locker room. You listen to Flacco talk. You listen to Dylan Gabriel talk. These are team guys. And it's like he hasn't caught on. He hasn't learned a thing. Literally, he hasn't learned a thing. It's all show. And I would almost venture to say that yesterday and why he did that was to take attention away from Dylan Gabriel. I actually think there's sinister behavior going on like that. I think you're about to see a major saboteur campaign go on with Dion and with Shoutout. And you already saw Dion pipe in and say, "You did that, son," as if to say that, that's something to be proud of. That's something you should be ashamed of. And Dion, you should be ashamed of yourself. You're the guy's dad. This is not what you do. You're a football coach. You're supposed to be a leader of men, and this is the way you conduct yourself. Now, we probably shouldn't be surprised because in college, high school and in college and in the pros, this is how you conducted yourself. But a lot of people let that slide and just said, that's Dion being Dion because you were a cornerback. Your son's trying to be a quarterback. It doesn't work that way, and you miscalculated, like biffed it. Like, you tried to throw the ball in the ocean. You took a baseball or a football and tried to throw it in the ocean, and you missed. And you embarrassed yourself. You embarrassed your legacy. You embarrassed your sons. And you made it harder for yourself and what people think of you and your own legacy. It's actually gotten to a comical stage. You can watch most all of these athletes with a reasonable common sense mentality. It's just not something you do. And he's laughing and he's giggling like you. I don't have any children, but it's like a 6-year-old would do, right? I coached for a lot of years, and I had nephews that were 6 years old, and I see them in the stores, and this is kind of how they act. That's supposed to be what, 23? What is he, 23, 24-year-old? You're literally trying to bring attention to yourself. It's just an embarrassment. So we talked about that today. Guys, check it out on my X feed. The link is there. I don't have the full video like right there spliced to where it just goes to our conversation. There's 2 bullets there. 2 bullets that show, let's see what this comment is. I subscribed after I heard you on Jason Whitlock. You're 100% on point. Midtown 1. Thank you. At 6:43, 1 minute ago. Thank you. I appreciate the love. And I'll get to the YouTube there in a moment. I think he's talking about subscribing to YouTube. Hit me on that if you would with another comment if you're referring to YouTube. Looks like you are. But it's very sad to see, and expect the unexpected from this moment forward. And I got a big thing on Dylan Gabriel. I did like a 16-minute video. I really broke down. I'm not like, we're going to draw up the arrows and love Orlovsky, love a lot of those guys, but I'm not going to sit there and draw up arrows. I'm just going to walk you through it. And yes, sir, on YouTube, he says, thank you. I appreciate that, Midtown. Dylan Gabriel's 5'11". Now they're going to find out, they're going to talk about every single reason why he cannot succeed. He's 5'11". He can't throw over the lineman, this, that. All right. He played for Oklahoma. He played for Oregon. It's not the NFL. I got it. Those guys are 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" also, and have wingspans that are monstrous. He's pretty used to that. And as my co-host so well put this out so well a couple of weeks ago, he's a 6'5" guy, was a superstar quarterback in high school, 2-time All-State, once in basketball, once in football, top 15 all-time athlete at the prestigious Warren De La Salle in Michigan. And went on to set records in college, played against Aiden Hutchinson, Sauce Gardner, Dante Moore, the quarterback over at Oregon, who was phenomenal this past week. Shout out to him. Man, against Penn State. That was money. That was playing ball right there. Even Luke and I were texting. He's like, man, this guy, he turned around and made that throw. That's a sick throw. Like, I had to make that throw, and it's not easy to do. Anyways, so there's some concern that he's 5'11", but I really want to just point this out before I move on. I got like 5 topics I want to talk about. I don't want to go too long, keep you guys too long. But a 5'11" guy has to think through and process the game completely different. Dillon Gabriel is a cerebral quarterback. The way he processes his game, the way he thinks through the game, he has to play it and process it at a speed that's totally different than a 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" guy. And I think you will see him compensate that. You'll still see some batted balls. Drew Brees, Russell Wilson, Doug Flutie, if you want to go back that far, really short. These guys, they're going to get balls knocked down. There's other solid 6 foot guys. You know, Kyler Murray's another one, gets tons of balls batted down. But everybody knows that a quarterback throws through a lane, and you have to find those lanes. The offensive line is a big part of that. But where you get set, and it's the defense's obviously job to get you off your point, off your spot, move you. And when they move you, chances are greater you don't find your lane as easily to throw through, and they will try to do that to Dillon. But he is so smart. He is so intellectually on point. You know, in the Cleveland Browns, when they put him through the process, and even other teams, they said, this guy's like kind of ready, kind of like Jackson Dart. And Jackson Dart, by the way, check out the X feeds. I think I have it pinned up at top. That's the next Shoutout Sanders prediction that I made. May 12th, I made it, or March 12th, excuse me, that he would be the best in the 25 class, that he would go down as the greatest Giants quarterback in history and be better than Eli Manning, because basically Eli Manning's the best quarterback in Giants history. It won't be. It's going to be Jackson Dart, barring injury. Been on it since day one, just like I was on Shoutout, just like I was on Jaden Daniels. Guys, this is what I do. So keep following, because I got a lot of them, and there's a lot of them in motion. A lot of them have happened already, but a lot of them are in motion. You know, there's actually a chart up there that shows all the breakdown. Travion Henderson's going to be better than Ashton Agiante. There's Tatum McMillan's going to be the best wide receiver in the 25 class. I can't even think of them all right now. The Caitlin Clark injury, I predicted, you know, when she injured it the second time, she would never come back. I got called every single name in the book. Luke and I talked about it on the show. We're basketball guys. You know, he played for me. I was a coach, 9 years, 7-time champion, and I just knew it. And they lied to us about the injury. She heard it more than what it was. Anyways, all that stuff is up there. So this is what we do. So follow us, because there's a lot more like this to come out. But let me just say this, and I'll close on this topic, is I believe that, and you could hold me to this, because I said it the day after the draft, Dillon Gabriel is the franchise quarterback that the Cleveland Browns been waiting for decades. I really and truly believe that. And as much heat as Stefanski and Andrew Berry and even Jimmy Haslam, there's no one harder on Jimmy Haslam than me. I think he's a terrible owner. I think he signed off on Shoutout. But, man, they had a hell of a draft class. They really did. And you could say what you want about Isaiah Bond and Quinshon Judkins and the allegations that have engulfed those guys. And apparently, I don't know if there's money that's been exchanged or case has been dropped, whatever the total legal term is, I'm not sure. But they got a lot of weapons now that they didn't have. Jerry Jeudy's a different wide receiver. You got 2 terrific tight ends. Harold Fannin, I watched him a lot in college. And Njoku, everybody I think is familiar with him. He can play. He can really play. Obviously, Myles Garrett, everybody knows him. Mason Graham. Hey, I'm from Michigan, so I know Graham really, really well. I had him at 6 to the Raiders. He didn't make it that far. They've got Schweisinger. They've got players, man. And Dillon will settle things, and they'll be able to compete more offensively. It's going to take him a little bit of time. He's going to have his moments. He's a rookie. No matter how smart he is, welcome to the NFL, son. That's coming. It would be for Shoutout. It would be a little bit for Jackson Dart, Jaden Daniels. It doesn't matter who it is. It's always an adjustment. But if you give the guy 4, 6, 8 games, you're going to start to see this guy come through. He's smart. Again, he's smart. He's intelligent, extremely precise and accurate. He doesn't have a world-class arm. In other words, he doesn't have a dart like Jackson Dart. He doesn't have that overwhelmingly strong arm. It's not as weak as Tua, but it isn't as strong as some of those other guys like a Justin Herbert. It's just a rocket. Don't expect him to have that. But he's going to put the ball where it is. He's going to hit guys before they come out of their break. He's going to put the ball where it needs to be. And he's going to put his players in a position to succeed, the whole team. And you're going to have a real leader. Not that Flacco wasn't a real leader, but Shadour's not that. You can't ask 52 guys to follow Shoutout Sanders. It's just like, it's basically not at the pro level. It's not even possible. And they know that. That's why he's not number 2. All these people bitching. How can you put him at number 2? And last thing on this, Stephen A. Smith, another clown show. I think by week 11, week 12, he's going to be like, this guy just says stuff. Week 12, he's going to be the starter of the Cleveland Browns. What part don't you understand? They don't even want him at 2. It's basically being spoken in code that he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing during practice, in the building, in the film room. Why is Tom Brady telling, this was like 6-8 weeks ago. He's on with Dion. He's saying, stop talking about the Rolls Royces and get in there and study film. Why is Rex Ryan talking about get in there and study film? Because the word is he can't read defenses. Because everything was tailored to him at Colorado to junk it up. And he had some really good players, Jimmy Horn, Travis Hunter. He had multiple 3-4 guys. And Daddy let him do whatever he want, run around. And man, he had 20-yard losses, 15, 20, 25-yard losses. You know, that shit doesn't work in the NFL. See Kyler Murray, see anyone. Like, it's so rare, like a Lamar Jackson, maybe once in a while, these guys that are just elite. Shedeur Sanders on his feet is not Lamar Jackson on his feet. And everybody knows I'm not a Lamar Jackson guy, but it's a different player. Once in a while you can get it, but you start doing that stuff against pro players, it's game, set, match. It's 15 yards. You're in 2nd and 25. And you're, forget behind the chains. You're at midfield, or you're whatever. It's just not going to work. And that's who he is. In the 2 preseason games, that's what we saw. That was his opportunity, and I think it shocked people how bad he was. It shocked people that he hadn't improved, and I don't think they've seen him improve since preseason. People say, well, he was playing with guys that didn't even make the team. Yeah, he was playing against guys on the other side that didn't make the team. And if you're that good, you're not throwing the ball 10 yards behind guys. You're just not. You're not running backwards 10, 15 yards just trying to do stupid shit. You're not immediately trying to run because somebody's in your face. You got to go through your reads and progressions, even if the pressure's there. So anyways, it gets old talking about it, but it was such a hit that, you know what, it's helped us, it's helped us get known. It helped Jason notice us. So dummy, sorry, that's kind of rude, but not very smart to come out and do what he did yesterday and brought everything to the forefront again. And as soon as those comments were made, I got Jason hitting me up on a message. Can you do tomorrow? I want to have the producer call you. Yeah, I'll make myself available. Have him call me. We'll get this done. So stay tuned on that. But Dylan Gabriel is going to be absolutely terrific. So a little prep of what's to come, guys. Last Saturday was week 52. So it was our 50. We have 1 episode a week every Saturday at 10 a.m. And I want your guys' help here at the end of the show. And I'm not going to go for maybe 10, maybe 15 more minutes. At the end of the show, I got a question. And I would love you guys to hit me with comments here, because I really want to know if it makes a difference to you, because we're trying to grow the show. It's all about you. It's not about me. It's not about Luke. It's not about Jason Whitlock or anybody else we have on the show. And we're working on some big names, and we're working on getting on other shows. But for what's to come, the next year is going to be, I think it's going to be wild. It's really going to be wild. We're going to improve some of this. There's a little bit of lag on the screen here. I hate it. I'm embarrassed. But hey, there's so much memory going on with the system now, and I need more RAM, and we'll get it. So we'll get that improved. We'll continue to improve. Luke's gotten like a lot better. He's really hitting the ground running. We're going to give you great content. We're going to give you great predictions. These sports predictions, basketball is my background. Jason was a little bit surprised by that. He's like, how do you know so much about football? Did you coach football? Did you play football? I actually didn't play football. I didn't coach football. I played basketball through my whole life, and I coached basketball for 9 years and was fortunate to win 7 championships as a head coach in basketball. So technically speaking, basketball is my background, but I actually grew out of basketball a little bit. And thank you, Zach. I appreciate it. Saw you on Whitlock today, gained a fan and subscriber. Appreciate you, Zach. So many people like that today. It's really touching. I get a little bit of emotional about it, because you work so hard just to do that. And I get called every name in the book, the racial comments, just because you have an opinion about somebody of the opposite color and all this nonsense going on. It's an opinion. It's not personal attacks. Shedeur Sanders seems like a good kid, good guy. I mean, it's not personal. Jackson Dart, if he starts acting a fool, I'm going to call Jackson Dart out. I called, Luke, one of Luke's, my co-host, one of his favorite players ever is Baker Mayfield. I couldn't stand Baker Mayfield 1.0. I couldn't stand Johnny Manziel. You cannot be a quarterback like that. Not in the NFL. You want to go do in the CFL, in some European league, You want to do it in college? Maybe. Not in the NFL. So I don't care what color you are. I really don't. I'm just going to call what I see. It could be Tua, who's Hawaiian. I think Dylan Gabriel's got a little bit of Hawaiian in him. I don't care. It doesn't even matter. I don't even see it. I coached many black people. Black players. I have black friends. I have employed black people. It's just a ridiculous narrative, and it's immature. So anyways, the next 52 weeks are very exciting. Love to get more fan interaction. Thank you. Midtown, not that it matters. I'm a black man from Philly, and race has nothing to do with truth. Appreciate that, because that's truly what I meant by that. And, I got called a snow roach like 4 months ago. And I was like, I never heard that in my life. There's some names I didn't even know existed. I know it's slang. You can't, what is it? I didn't even look it up. I don't want to look it up. Maybe one of you guys would drop it on the screen. I don't even want to know. It's probably because I'm white and he thinks I'm a roach. Every name in the book, they say, oh, it's the white in you. Oh, you're white about that. Instead of saying right about that, you're white about that. Man, please get rid of that. So lots of stuff coming out. So like a special thank you, honestly, because what am I going to do? Am I going to get up here, or Luke and I are going to get up here and we're going to talk to nobody? As the fan base is growing on YouTube, on X, man, things have really bumped today. Like these guys talking about it. Appreciate you so much driving. I hope that we reach you on some level. I hope our content is hitting home. It's sinking. And there's a lot of it on YouTube. There's a lot of it. It's kind of outdated a little bit, but there's tons of basketball content, tons of LeBron James content. When my wife and I got married, the night that we met or saw Odell Beckham Jr. and his entourage, as my wife was in her dress and I was in my tux, and we had 40 people, and we left the group to go to our room, right? You get married, you want to spend some time with your wife. Coming up the elevator, I won't give it away. It's on YouTube, to talk to you about what an asshole that guy is. And again, it doesn't matter what color it is. What he said, it's so offensive and it's so ridiculous. And it's like, when you don't know these guys, you know what you hear on TV, you know what you see on TV. But then to see him act that way, and what he said to us, and how they made him and his 4 entourage, was 5 total, and just me and my wife, we're going up the escalator. And this is at the Aria in Las Vegas. We walked over from the Bellagio, which is where our wedding was, out on the patio over at Spago. And we're walking. We had got a big cake in our hand, and we're tired, long day. And we go through the Bellagio. We get to Aria, and if anybody's ever been there, in the front lobby, and actually not the front, it's the other lobby that's next to oh gosh, what's the name of the one next door that doesn't have a casino? It escapes me. But where the big Christmas tree is with all the lights, and that escalator goes way up, one up and one coming down right next to it. We were going up and Odell was coming down. So there's that type of stuff. A lot of LeBron, a lot of Jordan, a lot of WNBA stuff, tons of football, a lot of stuff. I was in a coma in 2016. I'm supposed to be dead right now. I'm not even supposed to be talking to you. My life biography and my whole background, when I was a player, when I was a coach, how I almost died, how I made it out, what actually happened to me, that's all up there. And we're going to get more content. It takes time. It's growing. And, a lot of times there's not enough time in the day to get through all of it. So please check that out. And again, thank you so much. Appreciate y'all. Love to get as many of you as a part of this. And there'll be a point in time where we have a call-in segment. Because again, you look around the country, and anyone who's maybe as old as me, or is kind of almost as old as me, I'm 53. If you're 30, 35, 40, you remember radio shows that you could actually call in and have a voice. You don't hear that anymore. It's just talk. We want this to be a part of you. You be a part of this. Be a part of the comment section here. Maybe we'll get some live call-ins and such like that. So stay tuned for that. We'll get that information up on X. All right, here's the question I need your help with. Originally, when I first started the first 5 shows, I was doing it Wednesday night at 6:30. I believe it was 6 or 6:30, but it was only the first 5 weeks. Then after that, for the past, and so we're 52 weeks, this will be 53 this Saturday. So for basically 45, 46, 47 weeks, we've done it Saturday morning at 10 a.m. is a live show. And we go 10 to 11:30, sometimes 10 to 12 if it's a real busy craziness going on in sports, playoffs, these types of things, or these things that go viral and that everybody wants to talk about. The show can go a little bit longer. If we did a show on, say, Monday night, like Monday night at 7 o'clock, do you guys think that would be better if we did a show on Friday night? Because we do a lot of pick segments, football pick segments. There'll be basketball pick segments when that comes up. Obviously, you have Thursday night game tonight. You have Friday night games in football. You'll have MAC action coming up on Tuesdays and Wednesdays here in basically 4, 5, 6 weeks. You have the Saturday college action. You have the Sunday NFL action, the Monday NFL action. What do you guys think? And if you can't get it on the screen here, if you're seeing this on review, on playback, shoot me a message. Shoot me a instant message and just tell me what you think. I would like, we've talked about it. No decision has been made. We're going forward still this week and forward 10 a.m. on Saturdays. But, what are you doing at 10 a.m. on a Saturday? We noticed that the live audience is not a lot. It's the clips. It's all the clips when it gets cut out and it gets put out and, goes on all sorts of different things and gets shared and all that. That's where our audience kind of gravitates to. It's not necessarily on a live show. But if we came with great content on a Monday night, like 7 before the Monday night game, and recaps Sunday, and we talked not only about the Lions, which is where we're from, and now I live in Florida just for the last 7 months, but the other 52 and 3/4 years in Detroit, Lions fan through and through. Check out my prediction, because if this one happens, it'll really put us on the map. 4 seasons ago, this is the 5th season. Lions would go to the Super Bowl. You want to talk about getting skewered and called every name in the book? This is it. I said Lions in the Super Bowl within 5 years. This is the 5th year. So close 2 years ago against Frisco, up 17 at half, fell short. Last year, disappointing. First round exit after the bye. That really sucked. And now against the gauntlet of a schedule and no Aleem McNeil. But hey, 3-1 going into Cincinnati this week. We're in a good spot. That's another prediction. But hit me up. Let me know. Fridays, Mondays, what do you guys think would be best? And then if it is those days, what time do you think? Obviously not daytime. That doesn't work. Is it 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock? Is it 8 o'clock, 8 to 10, 7 to 9? What do you guys think? Shoot me up at a message at PB Sports Talks on X. So again, I did want to say this, a special shout out to a lot of the Detroit, Michigan media. Jennifer Hammond, Fox 2 News, covers the Tigers, the Lions, the Pistons, been doing so much for so many years. Was a true inspiration to me. Wojo, Bob Wojnowski, thank you. Terry Foster, thank you. Michael Stone, thank you. Mike Valeni, thank you. Even guys like Jeff Rieger, Matt Derry, Sean Belesian, really appreciate Tom Mazaway. So many guys. I'm going to leave some out. There's so many there. For my entire life, from touring Specs Howard Broadcasting School at 19 after my father died, I never got behind a mic like this. It didn't exist back then. And it just never happened. This is a lifelong dream coming true. And it wouldn't even be possible without people like Jason Whitlock giving you a chance today, and all of you tuning in, giving us that reason to push through, because this is really hard, folks. And I did a behind the scenes of the last year in one of the live streams early in the week, Tuesday, I think it was. What it takes to put together a show and produce a show, and the graphics. There's no graphics tonight, but the constant posting and everything you have to do, and following sports, staying up late. You're on your phone constantly. Your wife's yelling at you. You're not paying attention to me. You're always on the damn phone. I get the messages that says I've been on my phone for 7 hours and all this kind of stuff. 7 hours, like Scott Hansen on Red Zone, right? It's crazy. It's really, really hard. It's a newfound respect for the people that actually do this. When you want to do it more seriously and not just be the fan and say, when I get to it, I get to it. Hey, I'll go watch some clips or something. It's not like that for me. It's not like that for Luke. If we're going to come to you and we're going to start talking about stuff, we best be, somewhat informed. We're going to give you predictions. How the hell are we going to give you predictions if we're not watching and staying up to date with what actually is going on, to actually be able to give an informed opinion? And for me, a lot of people hit me up for this. They say, why are you so absolute? Not the vodka, not the alcohol, but why are you so absolute with what you say? I'll have a conversation with anybody, but I'm not that fence guy. I'm going to pick a side, and I'm going to go on that side. Jackson Dart, Hall of Famer. Shedeur Sanders, 5th-round pick. Jaden Daniels would be the best quarterback 2 days before the draft in 24 draft. Be the best quarterback, hands down. Should have been number 1. Caleb Williams, Drake May. No, thank you. J.J. McCarthy, 1A. I talked about Bo Nix was going to shock the world. He's doing it, 10-7, first year, up for Rookie of the Year with Sean Payton. I believe he's actually going to be better than Drew Brees. Yep, I said that too. So it takes a lot to do this. And so those people that inspired me growing up and watching these guys, it's not freaking easy. And they get yelled at all the time because of the opinions they have or something they write. And it's a lot of heat. And I take it too now. And I get called all sorts of names in the book, and you don't know shit, and you're a racist, and you're a snow roach, and you're fat, and you're a couch potato, and there are a lot more things that I can say, but I won't say. So shout out to all of them. Thank you for the inspiration. Thank you guys again. Again, I probably won't be back on until Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Luke will return. We'll have a great show. We'll recap everything going on between now and then. There's always something. And we'll have the Lions preview. We'll have the NFL picks. We'll have at least 5 college picks. We do the point spread picks. Luke kicked my ass in week 1. I believe I got the best of them this week. And so we'll keep that going. And be some other fun topics on there. And we'll keep it rocking. So thank you again. It's been a great day. It's been a memorable day. Thank you for the kind words. Truly, honestly, it means a lot. It helps you keep going, right? It's not easy. And I thank you guys so much. So have a great Thursday night. And everybody join on Saturday morning, live on X at PB Sports Talks, live on Facebook at PB Sports Talk, and live on YouTube at PB Sports Talk. Have a great night, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks again.